page, Marianne Hanson. I've also been live on my business personal Facebook page, Marianne Hanson Counselling Service. This is my third live stream, and I'll also be going live on my business YouTube channel, which is Marianne Hanson Counselling Service. I don't know if I'm going to get to TikTok today. I don't know. Sometimes I do my live streams on a Monday, and I try to do most of them on the same day. Obviously on here, I've been live on different days, but you get to a point and you just feel tired. You just feel like I've done enough live streams for today. This one I've already done this morning, which is to plan for the life you want. But I've put it on here as plan now for the life you want in the future. So plan in your current life for your future life. I'll just make it simple. And anyone that joins, feel free to leave a comment, feel free to share. Thank you to everyone that keeps subscribing to this channel. I am going to get round to doing more of the activities that I've been doing. Obviously, I did my 6 hotel visits, and you can watch that as the hotel inspector, where I've stayed at hotels. I've done my coffee and cake series, where I went to 8 different coffee shops and I had coffee and cake and rated that. I'm going to be doing more of that next year as well, but for now I'm just going to post different things, and I'm just going to do different live streams. So this one is about obviously planning the future life. So lots of people sometimes people can either be stuck in like the past, and their past life rules, you know, everything. So they're just so far thinking about everything that's happened in the past that they're not able to plan for their current situation or their future. Other people can be so far in the future that they're not able to look at what's going on currently. Either of those things do not help you in life. Because if you're too busy dreaming and imagining and thinking about the future, but you're not taking any steps in your current life, then your future can't happen in the way that you want. Because if you're blowing money left, right and centre, you're cheating in your relationship, you're not taking care of the things you need to take care of, but you have this imaginary life where you're married and when you've got lots of money and stuff, how's it going to happen? Thanks for joining, whoever's joined, if you're not getting it together in like your current life. And if you're thinking about the past too much, then that is going to hold you back, because you're going to be so scared based on what's happened in the past. You're going to be fearful. If you watch Married at First Sight, which I'm not going to, I did a little review which I'll upload. I'm not going to be watching it much longer, but the lady there, one of the women, was talking about how she just has a wall up because of what's happened in the past. And this guy that's in front of her right now, he's her present, and he's just thinking, I mean, he's got a lot of patience, but he's thinking, well, what do I have to do with what's happened in your past? You know, I'm here now, look, I'm staring at you right now, I'm treating you like this right now. Why am I, hi Lydiana, why am I having to think about that? So the first step, there's only 5 steps, and I'm going to try and like narrow it down a little bit so I don't go on too much, is to get your finances in order. Hi Liam. So everything that you need, or most of the things you need to have like the future that you want in most cases, requires money. And if you can't get disciplined with money, and you can't set budgets, and you can't work out, you know, check your finances all the time. I'm not going to go into it too much, I'm not a financial advisor. But one thing I'm aware of is that most of the plans that we have for ourselves involve money on some level. And if you can't get to grips with that, and if you're not checking your bank statements, and if you're just spending because on emotional spending, what's it called? Emotional spending, you know, so you're having a bad day, so you go out and you buy yourself some shoes. Hi Noah. Or you, you know, just feel like it, you've got water at home, or you've got food at home. I do this sometimes, I'm not going to lie. I'll go out and I'll buy things, and then I'll think I've got that at home. Or I'll just, on a whim, just spend, especially online as well. Amazon, terrible. You just have to come to grips with getting it like more of a system and getting it in order, because what I say to myself now, and how I've learned to do this, is say to myself, the future that I want, or the things that I want in the future, are going to cost money. So what I need to do is save now, or I need to start to think about what I'm going to sacrifice now so that I can get those things. You know, if you want to travel, which I want to travel next year, if you want to move home, which I want to move in the next few years, buy a house, hopefully, one maybe. If you want to, you know, get another car, if you want to do certain things, do certain activities, whatever you want to do, a lot of the times it's going to cost money, so it means that you're going to have to get your money in order. Hi, I can't pronounce your name. I think X13G3HDK. See, I've pronounced it. It's probably not said like that. Yeah, so the first thing is finances. So the second thing, because we're going to try and go through these and spend a bit more time. Hi, Anish. Where am I from? I live in the UK. Yeah, so I'm from here. I suppose, yeah, that's where I'm from. I don't know if you want specifics. Anyway, so finances is the first one. Second thing, if you want the life that you are planning for, is to make, what's going on here? Oh, good evening from India. Oh, okay, Anish, thanks for joining from India. So, is to make sacrifices now so that you can get what you want later. Stop saying yes to everything. I know that there are people online, especially on Instagram in particular and on YouTube and everywhere, saying just say yes to this, and the universe will open up things for you, and yeah, life is for living, and you know, all this, you only live once. But what you've got to think about is we go through stages in life. We go through stages, and we need to sometimes sit and reflect on what stage or what era, as they call it, what era, you know, I'm in my saving era, but I'm also in my planning for the future era. I don't even know if you pronounce it like that. So you've got Kula. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, Kula. I think it's Kula. And hi, Saidu. So if you're planning for the future, what that means is you can sacrifice going out for meals, you can sacrifice certain things. It doesn't mean that you're going to sit at home and you're going to say no to everything, and you're never going to, if it's someone's birthday, you're not going to go, or you're just going to go to cheap places and you're not going to go and splash out and buy food or, you know, do certain things. You are going to do all of those things, but it's about conscious spending. So for me, if when I'm thinking about time or money, they're the two most important currencies. I'm fine, Sadu, thanks for asking. Time and money are the two most important currencies to me. Wasting time is not an option, and wasting money is not an option. My sister the other day was taking her daughter to a hairdresser's. This is why sometimes I just don't go to certain hairdressers. This particular hairdresser, hi MC, you can't book appointments. It's a walk-in. So they're African hairstylists. They're from Eritrea. And I know they do good hair because I always see my sister and my niece have beautiful hair, but you can't book. So if you walk in there at 10 o'clock in the morning and there's 10 people waiting, you could be there till 3 o'clock, which is what happened with my sister. She walked in. My niece was there. They waited 3 hours, and that was before they even got seen. Another woman had been there earlier than them, I think my sister was saying. So my sister was there so the 3 hours they waited, and that was before they got served. And then it took another 3 hours to get the hair done. I said to my sister, she kept saying to me, hi, Masood Ajit Dibu, I think it is. I said, I don't care how good her hair is. I don't care how much she charges, because she charges good money and she does good hair. I'm not waiting to be seen 3 hours, because that 3 hours that I'm waiting is time that I can't get back. I don't mind if you spend 6 hours doing my hair, because I've calculated that you're going to take 6 hours to do my hair, but I do mind 3 hours of waiting. It's not the airport where you have to check in for your plane 3 hours in advance. You're sat there as a customer, and you're not doing the person a favour. So that is one of the reasons, yeah, for me, I'm not going to make that sort of sacrifice. And even my sister had to miss her coaching appointment. She had a personal training appointment because she was late getting back. And I just think, hi Paul, thanks. Fish, hi. Oh, thank you, Fish, for subscribing. Hi, King. So yeah, think about the sacrifices and think about what are your two deal breakers. What are the two things or one thing you're not going to sacrifice? So someone might say in a relationship, they're not going to sacrifice wasting their time with someone if they know it's not going anywhere. I think you're then doing a service to the person and to yourself, because when you stay in a relationship with someone where you know it's not going anywhere and you know you're not going to marry the person and you know it's not working, you're not only wasting your time, but you're wasting their time. So to me, it's just, that's another thing I'm not willing to sacrifice. And I know obviously you've seen if you've watched my video about Stranded on Honeymoon Island, And specifically, I've done one about David and Innie. They're a couple in there. That's another, you know, she's been on this TV program and she's literally just wasted her 3 weeks or however long in there, and he's just wasted his 3 weeks in there because they neither of them knew, they both knew that it wasn't working. Anyway, that's another program. So the third thing, if you want this life that you, oh, thanks for subscribing, Ed Harv, I think it is, and LGBQ Iris, thank you for joining. Multiple sources of income, and I'm not a money expert, so I'm not going to go too hard with this. I'm just going to say that every single person, I believe, has a talent. It's either a hidden talent or it's a visible talent. I've got people in my family that are brilliant at drawing, brilliant at singing. I mean, my brother, he's good at doing gardens, fixing things. He could fix your car. He's not had any training, but if I took my car to him as a mechanic, in fact, there's a few times when I used to have a car years ago, an old banger, I'd call him instead of the AA. I wasn't registered with AA, and he'd come along, and even though he's had no training, he could get my car started. So that's a talent to me, because you've learnt that yourself. People who can fix things, people who can put up shelves. You can monetize that talent, because there's loads of people who are always going to need that. When I moved here to this house, my sister tried to put up my TV unit. She couldn't. My brother came and tried to put it up. He couldn't. I then had to go on Facebook, and I had to get someone who lives, actually he was local, he lives in this area, and I didn't know this guy, he was a stranger, but I paid him £25. Did I pay him? Yeah, 25 to put up that TV unit. So he's just earned £25 just to do something simple. There are people all over who need help with things. So you can get multiple sources of income, even if every single person did their own audit of what they're good at and what talents they have, and then they monetize those talents. You know, even YouTube is free. You can, you know, I'm not saying I'm far away from getting monetized out here, but I do this because I enjoy doing it. I've got this channel, I've got my other channel, I've got my Instagram, I've got my TikTok, I've got my YouTube. Most of these are business. This isn't business, but the other ones are. Find things that you can get an income from. The other thing they say is everyone's got at least one book in them that they could publish. We've all got stories. You know, Katie Price, whether you love her or hate her, she's got 3 books. She's written 3 books. I actually bought one of her books, Katie. I think it was was it the first one? This was years ago, because I haven't got it still. Very interesting. If you become someone that people are interested in, then they're never going to get rid of you. Do you know what I mean? You're going to be everywhere. You're going to be sellable or saleable or whatever they call it. Mark Wright, when I was watching the program yesterday, M&S Style the Nation, he was on Strictly. This is Mark Wright from Towie. He hasn't been on Towie for about 15 years because he was on it in the very beginning. He's left, but he's still saleable because people are interested in him, because he's good looking, because he's got charisma, because he knows about things. You know, I'm not saying he's like knows about everything, but he'll get contracts. There's lots of other people as well. So who's this I can't read who that is, but thanks for joining. So get your multiple sources of income. Sit down. If every single person on this live stream, for example, if you sat down and did an audit, what are you good at? What can you sell? If you had to sell something, what price would you put on it? And then go and test it out. Test the market. You know, there are people in America who will queue. They're called professional queuers. I didn't even know this exists, or professional standing in the queue. So when a new product comes out, like an iPhone or any product, and people are at work and they can't, you know, queue up, or people don't want to, they're too lazy to queue up, or whatever the reason, there are certain people that will pay them money to stay in the queue for them overnight and to buy that product. I didn't even know that existed, but that's a thing, you know. So it's not a talent, but it's a side hustle. So you've put find cold. Hi, say hi, Isa. Hi, Isa. Yeah. So multiple streams of income will get you to where you need to go. Having one stream of income is not enough these days. It's just not. You can get laid off from work. You can get your hours can be reduced. Hi, are you from the Philippines? Hi, I can't pronounce your name. Artemio, I think it is. I'm probably getting that wrong. Thank you for joining. So yeah, just figure out how you can have 3 or 4 different streams of income. It doesn't even have to be in the field that you're doing. I remember I was doing, when I first started as a counsellor, because I was a social worker, so I was doing social work, that was my main income. When I then set up to do my counselling business, I was cleaning houses. That was bringing in about £500-600, maybe 700, depending on how many houses. Then I was doing my social work, so that was giving me an income as well. Then at some point I was doing online quizzes and testing products, and I was bringing in about £200 a month for that. What I realised is by getting lots of different contracts, because even now as a counsellor I'm doing freelance work. Then I do, I'm a supervisor, so I supervise counsellors. Then I do other bits of work for different organisations, and it just feels good because you're getting different incomes coming in from different people and different places at different times. So what you can then choose to do is to save some of that for your future self, the future life you want, invest some of that, spend some of it now, and then do whatever you need to do. But I think if you've only got one income, then it's usually only going to go to bills, and you're going to be making yourself vulnerable. So I'm not going to talk too much on the money side because I'm not a financial expert. So I'm just saying in terms of my own knowledge. So the next thing, plan for getting the life that you want and working on your future self now. There's a book called Be Your Future Self Now as well. I recommend that. Is daily action. So there's only 2 more, and this is the next one on the list. People sometimes underestimate how much time we spend doing nothing. Now, I know for a fact that on a Sundays are always my thing where, because I'm doing the 4K, 5K a day next month for Calm, and I've mentioned that a few times, I'll probably make a few more videos. I'll be out every single day doing my 3 miles. Some people will be joining me, some won't be. But Sundays I do find boring because it's just, I usually just lay about and I'm resting. But even yesterday I was still planning things for the future. I've got books that I'm writing, so I was doing the introduction for the books. Yeah, YouTube takes work. That's the thing, William. When I came on both of my YouTube channels, one's for business, the main one was for business, and that's because what I like is being able to send videos to my clients. So it's like having a little catalogue, because I've got over 1,000 videos, and it's called Marianne Hanson Counselling Service. So if anyone wants to check it out, you can. With this one, this was more because I was doing personal stuff, like going on holidays, doing family game shows, which you can see on here. I was doing lots of fun things, but I thought, well, where can I put this? Because I haven't got a personal Instagram. I have got a personal TikTok now, but I didn't have. So I just created this channel so that it had a place to store my videos, so that even I can look back, when I look back on my Seychelles videos that I took when I was there on 2023, it's nice to look back and think this is where I was. It's just like a little memory thing. So daily action just means that you're saying to yourself that you're not going to get the time back. So every day, it's about doing one action towards your future. Anything. It could be reading a book. It could be planning. It could be whatever it is, whatever you need to do. But it's about not taking days off and not saying, well, I'll do that tomorrow, I'll do that tomorrow. The amount of work I do as a coach and a counsellor with people who procrastination is their thing. And to me, procrastination just means that you're putting off things and you're making that list of things bigger and bigger. When you just grab it and you just grab the hardest thing on the list or the most difficult task that you've got to do, and you get that out of the way, the relief that you feel, you can't even talk about it, because there's loads of things that have been sitting and I've been waiting to do, and I just keep putting them off, saying this is going to take too long, this is going to be too taxing, I'm too tired. You can come up with all sorts of excuses, but you just have to just take action. Someone's put, what have you put? A woman should learn in quietness and full submission. I do that for me. Okay, I don't even know what that means, but anyway. So it's taking daily action just means that you are saying to yourself, unless it's, you can probably I'm not saying that you should spend the whole day just hustling all the time and you don't take any breaks. You need to decide what is enough work for a day. But you could say to yourself, I'm only going to do 1 hour of tasks today. And that would still be better than saying, I'm just not going to do anything at all, because you can't get back to yesterday. I always think to myself, you know what I mean? It's better for me to, even if it's, say, a Sunday, or if it's, you know, a bank holiday. Bank holidays to me, unless I'm going away somewhere, I'll still work on bank holidays. Christmas, I won't work Christmas Day. And I won't work on my birthday, but sometimes I'll do a morning appointment. I don't really work Sundays. Normally that's to do either family stuff or it's to just rest. But I'll still probably do like one action. Like I said yesterday, I was so bored that I just ended up doing a few bits here and there. So Timmy, what is it? Timmy Tough Knuckles. Okay, yeah. So the final thing then, this is the final thing to think about. The real. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. What do you think? So the final thing to do is to level up yourself. If you want to get to where you want to get to, and you've got a plan, you've got a dream, you've got a goal, you've got an idea of who you want to be, where you want to be, and what you want to be doing, you have to level up. You have to level up. Because leveling up as well means that you look at all, you audit yourself and you say to yourself, you know, if I need this a new qualification, do I need skills, do I need knowledge? Luckily, we're in a time now where you can Google most things, or you can learn, you can do short courses and you can learn things. You can even go on YouTube. The amount of things I've learned just by going on YouTube. I mean, I didn't even know how to screenshot. That's how bad. I didn't even know how to do a screenshot till I went. There's certain technical things that I've learned, the haters, by going on YouTube. There's things I've learned by Googling it. You know, you can learn a lot of things now. You can watch an audio, listen to an audio book, and you can have knowledge from that. There's no excuse, really. So leveling up means that you're saying that wherever you are now in your life, you want more. You want to become the best version. You want to 10x it, as like, what's his name, Grant Cardone, in his book, he would talk about. So yeah, so all you need to do really is say to yourself, first of all, figure out what it is that you want, and then put these 5 steps in order. So it's to get your finances in order, make sacrifices now and stop saying yes to everything. Just, you know, say no to certain things. Get multiple sources of income. Even if you can do that one thing, 3 sources of income, you know, that will make a big difference, because that will give you the financial power. Then level up yourself. So your qualifications, your skills, your knowledge, whatever it takes, level up. And the final one is to take daily action. Am I Christian? Is that... No, I'm not, but I don't know what that's got to do with what I'm saying. But anyway, thank you to everyone that's joined. I really appreciate you joining, and everyone that has subscribed. Hi, I'm Toxic Electric. Yeah, you'll be able to watch the replay if you haven't seen this live, you haven't been able to catch the live. And yeah, if you're interested in finding out more about the work I do, oh, thanks for the love. You can also go over to my other page, which is called Marianne Hanson Counselling Service, but you can stay on here and you can watch some of my other videos if you find that interesting. Okay, bye, the haters, and thank you to everyone that joined on the live stream. Take care. Bye.